Right. My name is Emmett Jr. and I'm a native New Orleanian, born and raised. I lost everything in Katrina. I'm a retired school teacher as of 34 years, and this is my 35th year running because of the teacher shortage. They call retirees out back into service, so I substitute for Alameda now. But I'm officially retired and on disability for the rest of my life. But I lost everything in Katrina. Now, I went to college in New Orleans. I went to Xavier University. Ellis Marcellus was my jazz history professor. His son, Wynton Marcellus, was my student my first year as a teacher in New Orleans, right out of college. I came out here to the West Coast, Tarfor, Oakland. I worked at every junior and senior high school in Oakland. And now, because of the shortage, I substitute for Alameda. I just started playing again, performing again, a year ago this past Thanksgiving. The last time I performed publicly was 1991 at the old Yoshi's on Claremont in Berkeley. My wife passed away in 1994, left me with my youngest son, who I became a stay-at-home dad who I raised by myself. He's now 25 and adult, so I get my life back. So last year I went back to performing publicly. So I'm looking to come back, and wherever I can be of service, as an educator or as a performer, just give me a call.
How do you keep the hope and the optimism that you evidently have?
Hey, I want my money back if you're not gonna play. I'll put a quarter in there.
You got it.
One moment. 30 more seconds. 30 more seconds.
Quick interview. You have it. So,
how do you keep the hope?
Well,
where's that hope come from?
It all goes back to how I was raised in New Orleans.
Okay.
My grandfather is from Mississippi. He was a slave. He grew up as a slave. My father took me back to Monticello, Mississippi, to the farm where my grandfather was a slave at.
Wow.
So, and the family values helped me to develop my faith. And I've always, as an educator and as a person, I've always remembered to keep the faith whatever I go through in life. As long as you keep the faith and you believe and you ask, and you believe in Christ and ask for help, you'll always make it. The Almighty, whatever name you want to call him by, Eloi, Yahweh, Yahweh, Elohim, God, whatever name you want to, whatever name you want to call the Almighty Creator by, ask in His Son's name, and He will always provide for you.
What are your thoughts about the upcoming inauguration, given that your grandfather was a slave?
Yeah. Well, I have a younger brother who's a PhD. I come from a family of educators. My sister, myself, and my brother, we're all teachers. My brother, he's the youngest, he's the PhD. My sister's the bachelor's, I have the master's, my brother has the PhD. And he has a doctorate in engineering. My brother is the same age as Barack Obama, and they're born a day apart. Yeah. So I've always realized, see, I'm George Bush's age. I'm a baby boomer. I'm in his generation. And I always realized coming up in my 20s, 30s, and 40s that it would be the generation that came after me, your generation, that would be the ones who would take over and correct all our mistakes and the mistakes from the past. So this is a long time coming. And I truly believe Barack will do a good job if everybody gives him a hand.
All right.
And I also know that from my research that the situation that has been brewing for the past 2.5 years, economically, financially, in terms of real estate, and the average everyday person has reached a peak as of the past few months. But this trend that we're in will not end until August 2010. So everybody has to maintain until August 2010, then we'll see daylight.
Emmett, it's a pleasure to meet you today. Thanks for sharing your story.